Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
The Chicago Sky are an elixir, man. They will cure whatever ails you as a team. This was the absolute perfect opponent, perfect time for the Indiana Fever to get right. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's go. As we know, Caitlin Clark has now missed what 20 games? I think it's 20 games now, right? Or 19 games. And then last game they lost starting point guard Aari McDonald. They lost backup point guard Sydney Colson, both to uh, season-ending injuries. Sydney Colson, unfortunately, we'll see. Fingers crossed, because I don't care who it is. I never want to see a player go out like that. But Sydney Colson, at her age and the time of the season with it happening, may actually be finished with her WNBA career. So I would love for her to see her have a great rehab, get right as quickly as possible, and have someone maybe the end of next season, or if they need in 2027, if Sydney would want to do that, but maybe the end of next season for the stretch run, a team that needs a veteran backup point guard and that type of presence for a playoff run or something, that would be great for her. You never want to see a player who's been in the league that long in any league go out in that way. But obviously, that is the reality of sports, and the Indiana Fever, after a really, really bad loss to the Phoenix Mercury, were looking into the abyss, folks. No point guard on this team. We still don't know when Caitlin Clark would come back. They weren't able to sign anybody because of league rules, which are stupid, before the Chicago Sky game. Now we all know, and it kind of went as we thought in terms of who was playing what. I talked about, well, you move Sophie to point, maybe Kelsey Mitchell plays point. They share point guard duties. You bring in Lexie Hull to play where Sophie Cunningham was starting. You go with Sophie, Kelsey, Lexie, AB, and Natasha Howard, and you rotate from there. Bench players have to get more time, which they did as well. And God was looking down on the Fever because the next opponent they got with the Chicago Sky, quite possibly, even though I believe they're ranked 11th out of 13 with the injuries they've had as well. Because don't forget, it's not just Angel Reese, right? Ariel Atkins, we all can say, hey, that was a bad trade, which I thought beforehand to get Sophie Cunningham, but it's not like Ariel Atkins was not an all-star, was a bad player. So she was important to this team. So the Sky and other injuries as well. So they were very, very much depleted as well, not to mention also not playing well as a team, even when they have their players. And the Indiana Fever have absolutely had their number with and without Caitlin Clark. So this was the game that the Indiana Fever needed next on the schedule. They got it. Everything went the way you would hoped it would under all of these circumstances. It could not have been a better first game without any point guards than the Indiana Fever got here. Players got right. Kelsey Mitchell, right? All of them got right. Aliyah Boston, 7 of 11, dominated inside in the paint. The 4 rebound thing is wild, even in 24 minutes. But still, Kelsey Mitchell did not shoot well. It was last game, right? Did not shoot well. 9 of 18, 4 of 8, 26 points. Also dished out 8 assists. I mean, Kelsey ball. Now again, I I don't want to take away from the performance, because with everything that went on and with how soft they looked against Phoenix, those injuries to McDonald and Colson could have devastated this team, even against the Sky, and they could have come out and performed poorly. And they did exactly what they needed to do moving forward. Caveat being, okay, it's the Chicago Sky. Yes, right? So I can see it from both perspectives. I don't want to rain on the parade, because they still faced a lot of adversity, still had to come out and play another team, no matter who it was, and put a game together. And they did. Because let's face it, if everything was right with the Fever, this is a 32 or a 42 point victory, not a 22 point victory. But, things got right. Lexie freaking Hull. Lexie Hull, right? It was. Can I show you something? Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? Oh no, wait, is this one? Yeah. Uh, the internet always wins, man. Come on. So I don't know who this person is, right? But they said, well, look, here's last night. I'm so glad I never stopped believing in Lexie Hull. And then Nana here went and got this and was like, well, are you sure? Because it says here back on August 7th, and yesterday was August 9th. Lexie Hull is the worst player I've ever seen in my life. That was, of course, after the 1 for 212 performance against Phoenix. And obviously, Lexie Hull had been in a big, big shooting slump. But that is absolutely wild, wild. And then, of course, we had, yeah, here we go, folks. Lexie, Sophie. And again, I'm not taking, like, people go, oh, what about Lexie? I mean, what about Kelsey? I just gave you Kelsey, and I'll talk about her. But Sophie was the player against Phoenix. Sophie has really stepped up into a veteran leadership role in this team, has brought the fire that we have not seen from a lot of these players. Lexie and Sophie brought it 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 4 of 6 for 3 from Lexie. Sophie, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 of 6 from 3. And then, of course, that gets added to, as I showed here, Kelsey Mitchell balled 9 of 18, 4 of 8 from 3. 4 of 6 from the line. Kelsey, I take it all back. You had a terrible, terrible evening. Shame. You cannot be 4 of 6 from the line. What if this had been any other team but the Chicago Sky? But yeah, I mean, Kelsey Ball, as I said, everyone got right. Everyone got right. Now, the bench didn't shoot great, but here's what we got. Dantas was still able to give 18 minutes, grab 3 rebounds, have a couple assists. Brianna Turner got into the game because, again, look, we never know what's going to happen. If losing 2 point guards for the rest of the season against Phoenix didn't teach you what can happen in sports, I don't know what will. So Brianna Turner may very well be needed in this stretch run. May very well be needed for the playoffs. She got 8 solid minutes, got a couple of blocks, a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. I think she was also the only player that had a minus plus minus rating, but we're going to ignore that for now because it was just good to see her get some solid minutes. Chloe Bibby, Chloe Bibby, 21 minutes, but 0 of 5, 0 of 4 from 3. Now she grabbed 3 rebounds, had an assist, had a steal. She was still +9. And I will say this, and this is one of the big issues a lot of people have with Stephanie White, is no consistency. And I will say the same thing for Timpson. Played really well, 17 minutes, 2 of 3, 7 freaking rebounds, folks, a couple of steals. But a lot of people talk about how she's not looking comfortable in the offense. She doesn't look comfortable out there. She doesn't look like she necessarily knows where to go. And that is true. But, and I will tie this in with Chloe Bibby, and I think we've seen this with some other players as well. Michaela Timpson can go out and get 12, 15, 20 minutes, play really well, and then not get off the bench next game. Chloe Bibby came in, started on fire on a 7-day contract, earned a rest of the season contract, and then all of a sudden, Stephanie White's not playing her. She's playing 3 minutes here, 5 minutes there. She misses a shot, she takes her out. So yeah, she got 21 minutes, but Chloe Bibby is messed up in the head right now. She doesn't have any confidence. Her coach took it from her. Michaela Timpson, not comfortable. Why? Because her coach is not consistent at all with her playing time. She has no idea the expectations of her and what is she supposed to do and what type of situation she's going to get in and when she's going to get minutes or when she's never even going to get off of the bench. So, that is a problem. The rotations haven't been consistent. That is absolutely an issue for them. But the Fever, look, they they got it, right? 11 of 28 from 3, 33 of 70 overall, 15 and 19 from the line. This is exactly what this team needed for this game. This is we'll play this because this is just kind of funny. This is the this is the quality athleticism we get in the W. Again, I'm sorry if this gets blurred out or something. Hopefully not. Some do, some don't. But yeah, Sophie's going to say, you know what? I don't think you're athletic. Yeah, see, this is what happens. It's changing, folks. The big bodies, they can't hang. The big bodies are going to go the way of the dinosaur in the WNBA as we start replacing them with actual athletes. Because that's just, man, that's not good falling down like that. And then, of course, we had this young lady getting right. Um, I'm not sure which one this is. Let me just bring it. But so we've got this is later in the game though. Lexie Hull wide open, boom. The type of shot that she was missing so often that she was starting to pass up and afraid to take. We had another one later in the game. If you watch the bench, I don't know if she really jumps on her back, but Sophie and Caitlin are absolutely fired up, of course. Yeah, right. So, and that is one thing I will say, man, it's tough to figure this team out in this way because it really did seem like this was another one for Lexi. Like I said, no hesitation here, right? She's going to boom. I'm going to come off the pick. Great pick, by the way, by Dantas. And boom, I'm going to fire and hit yet another three. So again, they looked. I don't want to downplay it at all, being that it was the Chicago Sky, because it is exactly the type of game they needed. And with everything going on, it is the type of game that they very well could not have had. They very well could have gone out there and been like, and just been in their own heads with what's going on with the terrible loss against Phoenix, with the fact that it didn't look like any of the players had any fire. Think about that. You come out of Phoenix, you just went through all that BS with Dewana Bonner and everything. You come out of Phoenix getting blown out, showing no fire at all, and you're going into your next game without your 2 point guards who are done for the season, without Caitlin Clark, who still is not back. And I'm starting to think it's 19 now, because I think they're now 10-9 without her. So I think it's 19 games that she's missed out of what, 32. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's the number. So this is a game that very well could have been one of those ones where if they were right? If the team, everything was going right, Caitlin Clark's healthy, they're looking good, and they're on a roll, and then they lose to the Chicago Sky, right? You give that whole like, well, that they overlooked them, right? They were looking ahead, they were looking to the next big matchup or what have you, and this could have been that kind of in reverse. They were just, everything had been going so poorly that they come out and continue to play poorly against the team that they absolutely should beat, even with these injuries. That's the thing. Again, perfect team for them to play. I don't want to break down too much or go into too much with this game and make this a 20-minute video because, again, Chicago Sky, there wasn't really anything that was crazy. They just went out. It was good to see them have a good performance, good to see them shoot well, good to see both Aliyah and Kelsey have bounce back games, because neither one played or shot well against Phoenix. It was great to see Lexie again. Lexie Hull is a microcosm of what the team needed, right? Lexie Hull needed this team. They needed she needed the Chicago Sky. She needed these open threes. She needed them to fall to get right in her own head. And the Indiana Fever needed the exact same thing for the entire team. So it's going to be interesting. They can sign another player now. Will be interesting to see who that is, what that means for the team, if there are adjustments that are going to be made in the lineups. I mean, clearly they have to go get a point guard, right? Maybe they're calling Dallas and be like, "Hey, if you're going to let Grace Berger go, I think Grace is on a 7-day as well at Dallas. Correct me if I'm wrong, if it's a little different, but I think it's a 7-day. And if you're not going to hold on to her, because you maybe let her go now, and maybe we'll get you something, but just let her go now, and we'll bring her back. But yeah, man, let me know what you think about this game in the comments below. Let me know what you think about me going forward. The one other thing I want to show real quick, that gave the Fever a little breathing room in that last spot, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Golden State and the Sparks played, right, and Golden State won that game, so that knocked the Sparks down another game. So now the Fever have a 3-game gap over the ninth spot. But right now, it's looking, again, hey, still 12 games left, maybe 13 for some teams. But right now, they could play the Phoenix Mercury in the first round. And I think with everything that went on this season, that is, if you had to pick a rivalry for the Fever, that would be it, at least in the short term. That's going to be fireworks. Now, of course, if the Fever can flip that, they'd be the one with the home court advantage. Now, look, Atlanta has, I believe, the tiebreaker over Phoenix, but their record is tied, and they're also both only one game behind the New York Liberty. The Fever only a half a game ahead of Aces, only a game and a half against the Storm, only 2 games against Golden State. So it could change wildly. But I say keep an eye on that, because that'll be that. Caitlin Clark comes back before the end of the season, plays enough regular season games to get back to being Caitlin, and then they have Dewana Bonner and the Phoenix Mercury in the first round. That, my friends, is how you get ratings. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking this out. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. We're creeping. I think we just popped over 14,300. So we're creeping to that 15 number. Let's see if we can get that. Come on, we can get that before the end of the August, right? We can do it. I know you can do it. Anyway, thanks for being here. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.